The rumors have been rife. The African Cup of Nations, will it come up? Will it not come up? Well, all I can tell you is that the African Cup of Nations is coming off as scheduled. But the European Clubs Association, headed by the PSG president, wrote this letter to FIFA indicating their reluctance to release players for the continental showpiece in January. It's quite interesting why it has to come to this, and CAF obviously debunked such rumors, but it's quite interesting why the ECA are looking for the Afcon to be cancelled. We have a look at what they said in their statement and my thoughts on everything that is happening with the Afcon and all that. As usual, subscribe if you have not. Click on the notification bell to get more updates. So first of all, the ECA cannot say they will not release players. That is why they wrote a letter directed to FIFA to tell them that they are not comfortable with the measures that have been taken so far, and owing to the new COVID-19 variant Omicron that has come out. This is what they said in their letter. They said release of players to national teams for the African Cup of Nations and the 2022 international window. Now, dear Deputy Secretary General, dear Matthias, with the January 2022 window and Afcon fast approaching, all stakeholders are again unfortunately having to deal with an aggravation of the COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent implementation of new restrictions by various government authorities. As we know, the pandemic associated implications raise three fundamental concerns for clubs when it comes to the release of players to national teams. First and foremost, the club's duty to ensure each and every player's well-being is properly protected. Second, that clubs are not forced to be without players for club competition matches. Third, that all players resume their activities with the clubs following national duty in a timely fashion as per the applicable rules. So they feel that first and foremost, the players' well-being cannot be ensured because they are not confident with preparations made so far in light of COVID. They also feel that players will have to miss games owing to their participation in the African Cup of Nations, which is happening, the first international game that players have to travel to. And they also have to see that the players might not return in a timely manner, and that is also something they are worried about. It's quite unfortunate, the situation we find ourselves in, because COVID is really ravaging. Right now, games in the Premier League are being suspended because of an outbreak of COVID in camps. I have to say, if anywhere is the safest ever in the world for this COVID issue, or that has less COVID issues, it has to be the African continent. I have to be honest with you. The African continent is one of the safest places to be. Every case of COVID that has come into the continent has been imported. It has never originated here inside the African continent. It has been imported. People fly in from other countries and they bring the COVID in. Yes, CAF can do better if they haven't done better in their preparation for the African Cup of Nations, ensuring player safety and all that. But that does not mean that the ECA should bring out a statement that is clearly looking to undermine the importance of the African Cup of Nations. The time the Afcon is taking place is a big inconvenience to everyone. It is during the club season. And I am sure that if Euros hadn't taken place in 2021 June, I'm pretty sure the Afcon could have taken place there, because we had started playing the Afcon in 2019 June, and that was okay for everyone. COVID made us shift our calendar. And even with that, in 2022 June, I'm sure the Afcon could have been played, but that would be a huge inconvenience because we'll be preparing for a World Cup that will be taking place later on in 2022. So yes, we have to adjust ourselves. We have to push and make sure that players play for their respective country. The Afcon is a continental showpiece, the biggest continental showpiece in Africa. And probably this is what Jurgen Klopp was saying when he quote-unquote joked about the Afcon being a little tournament. And coach of Senegal said as much, saying that probably club is reiterating or saying what most people are thinking. And with this move here, I think they are trying to undermine the competition. Who would dare say something about Euros in this manner? Well, if it was in the off-season, I doubt if they would have complained. Yes, the Afcon is an inconvenience right now because it is happening when players are getting infected with COVID and having not to play games, when players are getting injured. A crucial time in the season for a lot of clubs who will be without key players. But it has happened in the past before, and they have been able to manage. And I think this move here, albeit not favorable to everyone, is necessary because of the situation we find ourselves in. From 2019, we had ratified it, but moving forward, we have had to make compromises. In 2023, the African Cup of Nations will return to June, and I'm sure we will not have these issues with Afcon being postponed and all that. The Afcon, however, will go ahead as scheduled. CAF have confirmed that fake news rumors. The Afcon will go ahead as planned. Sky Sports and BBC have bought rights to televise the game in the United Kingdom as well, and that, if it is not a bigger indication that the Afcon will go on, I don't know what is. So let's all forget about the thoughts or the news about the Afcon being postponed because the ECA is telling or saying that it will be an inconvenience for the club. Measures will be put in place by Cameroon to make sure that the players are safe. Over a month to the tournament, we've all gotten our accreditation. And Gary Al Smith posted on Twitter that since he started covering the Afcon in 2008, that has never happened. A month before the tournament, they got all the accreditation. Yes, the media might not be highlighting the positives. The media might not be putting light on the positives, but they are planning. After all, Cameroon had the opportunity to host the Afcon in 2020. Remember, this Afcon should have happened a year ago. So if they are not prepared, having a chance to prepare an extra year, I don't know when they would ever be ready to host an Afcon, because they have had an extra year out to plan again. And if any lapses, knowing very well there was COVID, they must have covered every single loophole. So let's give the organizers the benefit of the doubt. The Afcon is not cancelled, it is a go. Ignore all fake stories concerning the Afcon. That has been it for today. Talking about the Afcon postponement, it is fake news. It will go on despite the calls by the ECA about their concerns and reluctance to release players for the competition. And if anything comes to worse, probably we might not be playing with a lot of European-based African players. So that has been it for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments box on the Afcon. I think it's disrespectful, undermining the competition, Africa's biggest competition, and it has to do with some of our planning going forward. 2023, hopefully, we can have it back in the off season, so it doesn't affect anyone or any player who plays outside the continent. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Enjoy the week.